All right, everybody, I know I promised to get more content up, but I have literally been on the road for a month straight. And I've been to North Carolina, Grand Caymans, Miami, Anaheim, California, San Jose, California, San Francisco, and back here in Chicago. So it's been a little bit of a crazy month, but I'm hoping to get caught up in the next week or so. And I've got AWS Summit coming up this week too, which is going to be exciting. So as I promised, I have an interview with some Nutanix users that I think has some interesting insights. And I know in my previous Nutanix video, I probably didn't talk enough about the cloud integration, and I know that's a big deal. Some of that does get discussed in this video, so I kind of feel like I'm okay. Who knows what'll make everybody happy? So here it is. So what was it particularly about the technology that was interesting to you that you felt it could help you position yourself as more of a thought leader and more of a leader within the organization?
The CIO was brought in to cut costs.
Yeah.
So once we started establishing, relationship with Nutanix and the actual technology, we were able to think about getting rid of ESXi, VMware. That's the only way it made sense from our perspective for cost savings to present over to our leadership.
Risk averse and cost conscious.
Absolutely.
So you've purchased Nutanix and you've been using it for a while now. Do you feel that you've realized those benefits?
We've been working with VMware to reduce our costs. We didn't go full-blown AHV across the board. We want to take baby steps because, again, we want to show the business, the opportunities, the efficiencies, the cost savings.
So is AHV the direction you guys want to go?
100%.
We did implement the new solutions with AHV. I think we have realized some benefits from it. And we haven't migrated everything yet, but we're in the process of migration. I do believe that the system is working as desired. I mean, we have experienced some issues, but I think you experience issues with any type of technology, especially new technology. But we are happy with the technology, and we will be rolling it out to other offices worldwide.
So you guys have been here for a couple of days, and you've been in some sessions. So what have you seen? Has there been anything that you really found interesting?
Well, they came out with a new product called Mine. Like their new backup product with Veeam. And that seems pretty nice that it's built into the OS. It's in the Prism single pane of glass. So I think that's pretty helpful.
Personally, when they announced that they were able to run on AWS during the keynote session, everybody started clapping. It felt that it wasn't just us thinking that it could be a better solution if they actually ran on AWS. It was everybody as a community.
And one other piece that they came out with was their Frame product. Now you can run it on a local cluster, which is helpful because not everyone wants to run their workloads in the cloud.
Do you guys see yourselves utilizing that?
Well, we're doing a POC with Frame right now.
Okay.
Because our San Francisco office is looking to make some changes and take advantage of more virtual workstations and possibly putting them in the cloud.
So you're really looking at a hybrid future?
Yes.
Awesome. What sort of things are you looking for out of Nutanix or out of Hyper Converged in general? There's sort of an interesting paradigm shift that you guys are in, right? You're moving from traditional compute infrastructure to more of a hyper-converged infrastructure. And so what are sort of the benefits that you hope to gain from that?
It's the one-click nature of their solution. We were on VMware, but it was not as one-click as I would have liked, especially with upgrades. They also are pushing the distributed infrastructure where you could have on-prem, you could have in cloud, and you could switch between each. It's basically one click.
It's sort of interesting because I think if you look at the hyper-converged market, right, in the beginning there was really Nutanix as sort of the leader, right? And then you've had a lot of other companies that have kind of emerged and coming in. HP's got something, and VMware and Dell, and they've got something going on, right? The value proposition around those products is kind of different than Nutanix. I mean, Nutanix really brings that cloud in a box value proposition, and it seems like that's something that really appeals to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, well, cloud is the new thing.
New buzzword?
Yeah. So, you know,
or the old buzzword.
Or the buzzword.
if we don't
Several years
at
ago.
some point take advantage of it or you know, get involved, we'll be left behind.
Some of those advantages of cloud are sort of that, like you say, sort of that one-click kind of provisioning and things like that. Prior to Nutanix, were you guys looking to set up a service catalog and do all that orchestration and automation to kind of give that access to your end users, or how is that working prior?
In my opinion, it wasn't as simple or built in or maybe too complicated on VMware. It seems to be a solution where it's built into the OS, which makes it easier because I like to make things simple. With that simplicity, we can take advantage of cloud and one click.
You know, now we're able to position ourselves as a, you know, private cloud that we could offer services to our different departments across the board.
Are you offering
Just compute and storage.
just compute and storage, but are you offering it directly to the end user, or are you doing the provisioning yourself?
We're doing provision ourselves, but we're providing that to different groups amongst, you know, our old IT group.
So has it simplified your provisioning process?
Well, like I said, we haven't migrated fully yet, but we believe it will once we get to that point.
Do you think that at some point you're going to want to give end users access to that?
Yeah, we have different opinions on that. But
Well, I mean, I guess it would assume you'd have to get it in production and see how it works, and then get confidence in it before you roll it out to the end users. Right?
And then Nutanix has a self-service option, which helps with that. So yeah, we could at some point give users the option to provision their own VMs and stuff like
But
that.
it seems like the GUI needs to be, you know, actually updated a little bit more to provide the same thing as VMware did.
Do you feel that the interface as it is right now is a little bit too complex for an end user?
Maybe not necessarily the interface, but the security behind it.
The security, so like the multi-tenancy functionality and things like that. What about the Nutanix ecosystem and Calm and things like that? Is that something you guys have been taking advantage of?
Not yet. We're basically getting our feet wet at the moment.
Yeah.
The only other product outside of the core would be Frame for virtual desktops, Xi for disaster recovery, and maybe some of the micro-segmentation that we may take advantage of at one point in the future, but that's really about it. We may also take advantage of their new backup product that they're working with Veeam on.
Nutanix aside, what's your overall impression of the show?
Great venue for families. It's phenomenal. Being, you know, at, you know, VMware before, they're X amount of times way bigger.
Yeah.
It'll be nice if you get more people out.
Well, I think Nutanix would really like to too. They just got to sell more boxes, and then come more people.
But the show is
not boxes,
sold out.
not boxes.
The show is sold out.
Not boxes.
Well, not boxes.
The software,
You're right. I got to stop saying that. I remember when we talked to Dheeraj a couple of years ago. At that time, it was a very hardware-centric solution, and his vision was completely not hardware-centric. It's starting to come to fruition, so it's kind of interesting, and it's obviously got a lot of value to you guys. Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice to have a subscription service that you can just turn on, turn off, pay in increments.
Different ways to consume and sort of a scalable and downscalable sort of solution is always really handy.
Yeah, I think one day it will be a like a turnkey subscription service where whatever hardware you have, you can just say, okay, I want this Nutanix cluster to be built in this office like that, and then move it to the cloud and then decommission it. I think that's where it's going, and it sounded like that with some of the automation stuff that they were talking about, because it only makes sense to get to that point one day, because no one's going to want to house data centers.
With the way that they're distributing the product, it could be in any cloud or it could be on-prem. So the underlying compute and storage isn't necessarily so important anymore, which really opens up a lot of avenues for using the product and also doing a lot of geodispersion and things like that as well. So,
and I think, VMware is a great product. They haven't tried to make it, I guess, more user-friendly. They kept saying they wanted to be invisible. Nutanix.
Yeah.
Kept saying they wanted to be invisible. And I like the invisibility. I don't need to know everything that's going on in the background. Just make sure it works. That's where a big difference between Nutanix and VMware is. The company is, deadline focused, and they have a lot of projects that need high performance at all times. So it's not like we chose a product that is not going to get that to us.
And 100% availability, or at least close to it.
Yeah,
because we cannot be down.
Yeah, well, and you guys have a small team relatively, and you got to do a lot with a little.
That's why simplicity is important.
Right. Well, and simplicity is core to availability, right? because the majority of problems and outages come from human error. And if you simplify the solution, it makes it a lot more available.
This product was brought up from the ground up to produce an HCI solution, which we liked. We talked to a couple of other customers, and we got that warm fuzzy feeling from them.
That's an interesting point because, for a company like Nutanix, this is their product. This is the core of their business. Whereas, vSAN, for VMware is another line of business.
Right.
And, we always talk about, like, what's the risky decision, right? You go with a smaller company or a bigger company, but a product, within a bigger company can be as much at risk or even more at risk than a product from a smaller company.
It was definitely a hard decision. It took us a year of evaluation to decide which way to go. It was definitely a hard decision. We're both comfortable with VMware. We've both used it for many years. I think if you go into the situation being honest with yourself, you will find that Nutanix is the better solution overall. Nutanix does give some advantages that VMware just, I guess maybe doesn't focus on at this point. It's a joint venture.
It's a joint venture.
Awesome. Hey guys, thanks a ton for doing that. So that's it for this time. I got another one coming up soon, so I will see you in the next video.